In this very video, we're going to be learning about the shapes, about the shape tool. Okay, there are different kind of shapes that you can use in Photoshop, and these very shapes they're here. You could create yours like we've done earlier. We're able to create a custom shape, and you can also use the already made shapes for you in Photoshop. So there are lots of them. The shortcut is U. By pressing U on the keyboard, you click the selected shape. So there are different kind of shapes. We have the rectangle. You can of course modify the features from here. You can modify so you can have a fixed shape right from there. You can also modify the edges, the roundedness. You can modify them right from here. So let's say, for example, you want to modify them by 50, and so the edge gets round by 50. Or there is the one that is automatically rounded, so it's rounded and it's rounded by default on 10 pixels. You can make that more. And there is the ellipse, there is the rectangle. You can decide the polygon. Basically, you can decide how many sides you want it to be and draw. So let's say we want 8 sides. You can draw what we want. Okay, all right. And then there is the line. You can decide how many pixels you want to draw. So that is 1 pixel. You can just draw a line with 1 pixel. You can decide to make it maybe 20 pixel, and so that will be 20 pixel line. Okay, and all of that. You can also come to modify the features here. You can stroke it. Basically, you can fix an outline. Okay, so we don't want the stroke for the line, so we want to leave the stroke at 0. What we want to do is the weight. We want to make it say 80 pixels. So let's draw a line so you can see it's bigger now. Okay, so this was a stroke that made this to be this big. So let's take this out, and so you see that already. So then let's go forward. We can also draw custom shapes, and there are a lot of shapes you can choose from. Okay, there are a lot of them you can choose from. Flowers. These are the custom shapes we created earlier, so you could draw and reuse them anytime. You can also pick flowers and draw them and use them anytime. Okay, so there are different flowers. You can use boats. You can pick boats and all of that. So there are different shapes. You just take your time, play around with them, look for what you would love to use. Like I was trying to show you how to modify the shapes. So let's say, for example, we intend to modify this rectangle. We can modify this rectangle by modifying the color. Say we want to use a red color, so we want to give it a red color, and we intend to give it a stroke, maybe let's say a black stroke. So a black stroke will do. And we intend to make it maybe a dotted line, and about that's too much, so about 15 pixels. So you can see that modification. Okay, so we can also do quite a number of things. For example, let's bring this shape right here, and we can insert images and objects into the very shapes we've created. Okay, we can. And so let's assume we want to add the shape of this very image into this shape. So we want to add this image into that shape. All you need to do is to bring that image to the top of the shape, the top. So it should be a layer ahead of the shape, and then you go to edit, and then you come to layers, and you select create clipping mask. The shortcut is Alt Ctrl G, and when you select this, it automatically enters the shape, and you can modify it. Okay, you can modify, you can merge the layers, and you can do a number of things. Now, like the rectangle that we drew and we just inserted this shape, we can also modify it with the blend modes. Okay, we can also modify it with the layer styles. We can add depths, bevel and emboss. We can sizing it up. We're going to learn more about this later. However, I just need you to have an idea. We can add contour, we can add certain, we can add gradient maps, we can add the outer glow, okay, and several other things that we can do from here. So that is it for the shapes. I want you to take your time, practice. If you have any question, kindly drop your questions and I'll be available to attend to them. So that will be all for this very class. Keep practicing. See you in the next class.